The phrase promised land is more than a beautiful metaphor. It is the spiritual symbol of the season God has been preparing you for. Chosen one, you've walked through valleys, faced storms, and endured countless battles that would have crushed anyone else. But through it all, you kept the faith, even when everything around you tried to silence your hope. That very perseverance is what has positioned you for the land flowing with milk and honey, a life of fulfillment, abundance, and peace. This is not about a physical location alone. It's about the divine alignment of your destiny with God's eternal promise over your life. Think about it. The promised land represents a shift in seasons, where what you sowed in tears will now bloom in joy. You didn't suffer in vain. Every sleepless night, every heartbreak, and every disappointment was a seed planted for this moment of overflow. On Anointed Era, we remind you that God wastes nothing. Your pain was preparation, your losses were lessons, and your struggles were shaping the character required to handle abundance. Now the doors are opening, and this is your confirmation that greater days are not just coming, they're here. Chosen one, the promised land is not a dream far away. It is already unfolding in your steps. Stay alert, stay faithful, and stay ready, because God's plan for you is entering its season of manifestation. Many of you may feel that years of your life have been wasted waiting for a breakthrough, but in truth, the waiting season was necessary. Waiting was the training ground where God equipped you with endurance, wisdom, and resilience. If He had given you the promised land before you were ready, it might have destroyed you. But because you endured the wait, you are now prepared to not only step into your blessing but to sustain it. The waiting wasn't punishment, it was protection. During this period, you probably watched others succeed while you remained hidden, and you wondered if God had forgotten you. But chosen one, what looks like delay is often divine timing in disguise. On Anointed Era, we emphasize that what you think is stagnation is really God aligning resources, people, and opportunities so that when your moment arrives, everything flows seamlessly. Waiting seasons refine your character so that when abundance comes, you won't take it for granted. You'll steward it with grace. Don't despise the waiting season, chosen one. It was the very soil where your faith took root, and it's the reason your blessings will last. When God describes the promised land as flowing with milk and honey, He's painting a picture of abundance beyond measure. Milk represents nourishment, the essential strength to keep you going, while honey represents sweetness, the joy and delight of life. Together, they symbolize a balanced life where your needs are met and your heart overflows with gladness. Chosen one, this is the kind of life God is leading you toward, a season where struggle is replaced with sustenance and bitterness is replaced with sweetness. This doesn't mean life will be free of challenges, but it does mean you'll be equipped with divine favor and resources to overcome them. Imagine going from years of lack to walking into doors you never even knocked on, meeting people who were divinely assigned to help you, and seeing opportunities multiply in ways that leave you in awe. On Anointed Era, we call this the season of divine. What used to be hard now begins to flow effortlessly because God's hand is on it. Your promised land is not just about survival, it's about thriving in every area of life. Chosen one, your season of overflow has begun. Walking toward your promised land often means stepping into unfamiliar territory. Chosen one, you may not always know where God is leading you, but that is exactly where trust comes in. Think about how many times you wanted to give up because the path made no sense, yet somehow you kept moving forward. That was God guiding your steps, even when you didn't realize it. Faith doesn't always mean having the map. It means trusting the one who holds the map. When you look back at your journey, you'll notice that the very obstacles you thought were blocking you were actually redirecting you. Closed doors protected you from what could have destroyed you. Broken relationships freed you to meet people who could walk with you into your destiny. On Anointed Era, we often remind you that God's no is just as much a blessing as His yes. Trusting His hand, even in the dark, leads you to the place of light He has prepared for you. Chosen one, your faith in uncertainty is the bridge that carries you into your promised land. Before stepping into abundance, you must release the wilderness mindset. The wilderness represents survival mode. the place where you learn to depend on God daily for strength, but also where fear and doubt try to make a home in your heart. Many people carry the mindset of scarcity into their season of abundance, and it causes them to self-sabotage. If you've been living with just enough for so long, it can feel uncomfortable when God wants to give you more than enough. Your promised land requires a renewed mind. You can't step into blessings while still expecting disappointment. You can't embrace overflow while holding on to the fear of lack. This is why your wilderness season was necessary. It taught you to trust God as provider, so now you can embrace His abundance without fear. On Anointed Era, we encourage you to release every limiting belief that no longer serves your destiny. Abundance is your portion, and you must walk into it boldly. Chosen one, you can't carry wilderness chains into a land flowing with milk and honey. One of the hardest lessons for a chosen one to accept is that God's timing rarely matches our own. You may have wanted your breakthrough 5 years ago, but had it come then, you would not have been ready to handle it. Divine timing is precise. It aligns the right opportunity with the right version of you. That is why certain things only happen after you've grown, healed, and matured. God doesn't want to give you blessings you cannot protect. He waits until you can carry them with wisdom. You may look around and see others receiving what you've prayed for, and jealousy may try to creep in. But remember, their season is not your season. The timing of your promised land is uniquely crafted for you, and when it arrives, no one will be able to deny it was the hand of God. Before the breakthrough, life often gets more difficult. This is because the enemy tries to discourage you right before you step into your promise. Chosen one, if you've been experiencing unusual resistance, intensified spiritual attacks, or moments of exhaustion, it is not because you're failing, it's because you're close. The closer you get to the promised land, the more the wilderness tries to convince you to turn back. Don't let it. At the same time, God often sends you subtle confirmations that your breakthrough is near. Unexpected blessings, sudden shifts in relationships, or even a new sense of inner peace can be signs that the season of waiting is ending. Pay attention to these little confirmations. They are like footprints leading you toward your promise. Fear is one of the greatest barriers between you and your promised land. Many chosen ones struggle with stepping into unfamiliar territory because it feels uncertain, even intimidating. You've been conditioned by past struggles to brace yourself for disappointment, so when blessings begin to appear, you may question if they're even real. But chosen one, God is not leading you to trick you. He is leading you to transform you. The fear you feel is proof you're on the edge of something greater. The promised land requires courage. Just as you learned to survive in lack, now you must learn to thrive in abundance. Opportunities may look bigger than your experience, and doors may open that seem beyond your qualifications. But remember this: God equips the called. He doesn't just call the equipped. Your faith is the passport that will allow you to enter and claim what belongs to you. Even if your knees shake, step forward in faith, because blessings don't wait for perfect confidence. They respond to obedience. Chosen one, your fear is not a stop sign. It's a signal that you're entering new, holy ground. The wilderness wasn't just a dry, difficult place. It was your classroom. Every trial you faced carried hidden lessons that shaped you for the promised land. You learned patience in waiting, strength in hardship, and trust in God's provision when you had nothing else to rely on. These lessons were not wasted. They became the foundation of wisdom that will sustain you in the land of abundance. Without the wilderness, the promised land would feel ordinary. It's the contrast of pain and joy, lack and abundance, loneliness and divine companionship that allows you to fully appreciate what God has prepared for you. Think about it. Every time you recall how far you've come, gratitude rises within you. That gratitude will keep you grounded when success tries to inflate your pride. The wilderness was where God humbled and strengthened you, so you could rise without losing yourself. Chosen one, what once broke you is now the very strength that will carry you forward. One of the greatest dangers of entering the promised land is carrying old battles into a new season. Some people step into blessings still carrying bitterness, fear, or resentment, and it poisons the very land God gave them. That's why the wilderness season required so much inner healing. It was about breaking the chains of the past before you could receive your future. Chosen one, you cannot hold on to yesterday while stepping into tomorrow. God doesn't want you to enter your promised land weighed down by the same struggles that drained you in the past. This is your time to release unforgiveness, to let go of the people who hurt you, and to lay down the burdens that are no longer part of your story. The freedom you carry into your new season will determine the joy you experience there. Don't let old wounds rob you of new blessings. Chosen one, your promised land deserves the healed version of you, not the wounded one. As you approach your promised land, God will begin to align you with people who are strategically placed to help you step into your destiny. These divine appointments may come in unexpected forms: a mentor, a stranger with timely advice, or even a friend who encourages you at the right moment. These are not coincidences, but divine setups. God places people on your path to open doors, confirm His word, and strengthen your journey. However, discernment is key. Not everyone who approaches you is sent by God. Some may come to distract, delay, or deceive. This is why prayer and wisdom are essential. When it's a divine appointment, there will be peace, clarity, and alignment with your purpose. When it's not, confusion and unrest usually follow. Pay attention to the fruit of every connection. As you move closer to your promised land, the right people will recognize you, support you, and walk with you into abundance. Chosen one, the right voices will affirm your destiny, not silence it. It's a spiritual principle. The greatest battles often come right before the greatest breakthroughs. The enemy knows he cannot stop what God has ordained, but he will do everything to discourage you, drain you, and make you give up just before your victory arrives. That's why this season may feel heavier than ever. But chosen one, the intensity of the battle is proof of the greatness of the blessing that awaits you. Every struggle is confirmation that you are on the right path. If you weren't a threat to darkness, you wouldn't be experiencing such resistance. But you are chosen, and chosen ones carry an anointing that shifts atmospheres. That's why the enemy tries so hard to keep you distracted or defeated. But no matter how fierce the storm, the promised land is already written into your destiny. The fight is tough, but your victory is guaranteed. Chosen one, the battle you face today is simply the final test before your blessing arrives. Not everyone is meant to enter your promised land. Some people were part of your wilderness season, and while they had a role in shaping you, they cannot walk into your new season of abundance. Chosen one, this is often the hardest part of the journey, realizing that some friendships, relationships, and even family connections may not align with where God is taking you. It's not rejection, it's redirection. If you try to carry the wrong people into your new land, they may drain or sabotage what God has given you. There are people who are comfortable with you in struggle but cannot handle seeing you in success. They were never meant to celebrate your abundance. They were meant to witness your preparation. God will reveal who truly supports you and who only benefits from your wilderness. Letting go is painful but necessary. You cannot soar into your destiny while being chained to those who want to keep you grounded. Trust that those who belong in your promised land will walk in with you naturally. Chosen one, some people were only chapters in your story, not part of your destination. When blessings begin to pour in, humility must remain your foundation. It's easy for abundance to make people forget the struggles that built their character, but chosen one, you cannot afford to lose sight of your roots. Remember the tears, the nights of prayer, and the moments when you had nothing but faith. Those experiences are what shaped you into someone who can handle blessings without arrogance. Humility also protects your blessings. When you acknowledge that everything you have comes from God, you remain grounded and grateful. Gratitude multiplies blessings, while pride pushes them away. Success without humility is short-lived, but success built on gratitude will carry you through generations. Always remind yourself that the promised land is not just for you, it is also for the people you are called to bless. Your humility ensures you remain a vessel, not just a receiver. Chosen one, your blessings are greater when your heart remains humble. The promised land will present opportunities that may seem bigger than you. Doors will open to rooms you once dreamed of entering, and platforms will appear that you never thought you deserved. This is where boldness comes in. Chosen one, you must step into these opportunities with confidence, not fear. If God has brought you here, it means He has equipped you for this moment. Don't shrink back when abundance calls. Walk boldly and claim what is already yours. Boldness is not arrogance, it is faith in action. It is the recognition that you are not walking by your own strength but by divine assignment. Opportunities often come disguised as risks, but the truth is, they are invitations from God to rise to the next level. On the other side of your yes is the life you prayed for. Do not let hesitation cause you to miss what God has already aligned for you. Chosen one, the promised land responds to courage, not fear. Stepping into the promised land is only the beginning. Protecting it is just as important. Blessings can attract both support and jealousy, and not everyone will celebrate your abundance. This is why discernment, boundaries, and wisdom are necessary in your new season. Guard your peace, protect your resources, and remain prayerful so that what God has entrusted to you cannot be stolen or misused. Many people lose their blessings because they treat them casually. But chosen one, your promised land is sacred. It represents the fulfillment of God's promises over your life. Protect it from negativity, toxic influences, and anything that threatens your joy. Remember, this land was not easy to reach. It cost you years of struggle, faith, and perseverance. It deserves to be valued and guarded. Chosen one, what you've prayed for is here. Now protect it with wisdom and gratitude. The promised land isn't only about receiving, it's about remembering. Gratitude keeps you connected to the source of your blessings. Chosen one, when you finally step into abundance, it's easy to focus on what's next, but gratitude helps you pause and acknowledge how far you've come. Every blessing, no matter how big or small, deserves recognition, because each one is evidence of God's faithfulness. Gratitude also multiplies what you already have. A thankful heart invites even greater favor, because it shows you value what has been entrusted to you. When you cultivate gratitude, you begin to see abundance not just in material blessings but in peace, relationships, and opportunities. The promised land is not simply about what you hold in your hands, but about the posture of your heart. Chosen one, gratitude is the key that keeps your promised land flourishing. Your promised land is not meant for you alone, it is also for the people connected to you. Chosen one, your journey was not just about survival, it was about transformation, so that your life could become a testimony and a source of hope for others. When blessings overflow, they are meant to spill into the lives of those around you. Generosity turns your promised land into a river of life for others. Think about it. The abundance you receive can inspire someone else's faith, feed someone else's hunger, or open doors for someone who thought they were forgotten. By sharing what you have, you keep the cycle of blessing alive. The promised land is not about hoarding, it's about becoming a channel of light, favor, and provision. When you bless others, your own blessings grow stronger and richer. Chosen one, your promised land has a greater purpose than just your own fulfillment. Sometimes the hardest test is not in struggle but in abundance. When blessings come, it can be tempting to become complacent or forget the God who carried you through the wilderness. But chosen one, faithfulness in abundance is what ensures your blessings remain. The same devotion you showed in lack must continue in overflow. Your relationship with God should deepen, not diminish, in your promised land. Faithfulness means continuing to pray, continuing to give thanks, and continuing to align your actions with God's will. It means not allowing success to lead you into pride or distraction. Remember, the promised land is not just about what you receive, it's about how you live in it. When you remain faithful, you protect your blessings and create a legacy that lasts beyond your lifetime. Chosen one, abundance is not the end of your journey. It is the beginning of a new level of faith. Now that you've reached your promised land, the final step is to live fully in it. This means embracing joy without guilt, walking confidently in your blessings, and using your life as a testimony of God's goodness. Chosen one, you didn't endure all those trials just to survive. You endured them to thrive. This is your season to live boldly, love deeply, and shine brightly. Living fully also means refusing to let fear of the future steal the joy of the present. Too often, people reach their blessings but remain anxious about losing them. You must remind yourself daily, what God gave, no one can take away. Your promised land is secured by His promise, not by human effort. Each day, rise with gratitude, courage, and faith, knowing that you are walking in the land that was destined for you all along. Chosen one, this is your time. Your land is flowing with milk and honey, and it is yours to claim. Chosen one, your journey has not been in vain. Every delay, every tear, every battle was leading you to this very moment, the promised land flowing with milk and honey. Walk into it with courage, protect it with wisdom, and live in it with gratitude. This is your season. Claim it, embrace it, and let it transform not only your life but the lives of those connected to you. Your promised land is here. Step into it boldly.